Yo, what's the deal? Jim Search here. And I just wanted to let you know that the Understanding Upstate t-shirts are now for sale. That's right, baby. If you hit understandingupstate.printful.me, you can find them all. We've got a variety of colors on deck and some specialized ones for y'all, too. Are you a speedy freak? We got a shirt for you. Are you a rattlesnake Pete? We got a shirt for you. Do you want to support a very dope podcast dedicated to upstate New York and look fly doing it? We got a shirt for you. These shirts look great at work, on a job interview, wherever. So head over to understandingupstate.printful.me and pick yourself up one. And if you buy one, you can buy another one. We'll have the link up in the show notes too. And for now, enjoy the podcast.
Hey, I'm Rob, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Jim Search and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, we're going on the attack to bring you the world of lacrosse, upstate style.
That's right, man.
Pretty
That's
cool.
right.
This is a fan-requested topic, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
We had a fan drop us a review, and with that said, he's Gammon. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Gammon C. Gammon C said, "Please do an episode on understanding lacrosse." And here it is for you. As a Western New York newbie, we got you, dude. We are here to give that to you and everyone else who's listening too.
Yeah. And if you would like to suggest your own topic for an upcoming episode of Understanding Upstate, all you have to do is you don't have to do it, but you should subscribe if you're suggesting content, right? It's just It's polite. It's the polite thing to do. Next, you're going to rate the podcast 5 stars, and then you're going to write a positive review and throw in your suggestion, just like Gammon C did on their review, for a topic for us to cover. And I learned a lot in the research for this, and I'm excited to talk about lacrosse and get into some cool history of it, its origins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see, folks, as we get into this, we took a different approach to this. I feel like, as far as unpacking upstate lacrosse. Yeah,
and the credit for that goes to you. You did the bulk of this research, and
yes,
as I was going through it, I was excited to see the angle you took on it. So,
because I feel like, I feel like I could have gone the collegiate.
I was going to say the Ivy League route,
the Ivy League route, the. For lack of better words, the white route of lacrosse.
Which,
however,
in the United States, does have its origin in upstate New York.
Yes.
Interestingly enough.
However, out of respect for the originators, if we're going to talk about understanding lacrosse in upstate New York, I think it is important to talk about who created the sport, which would be the Native Americans. So if you came here to learn about, some other style of lacrosse, I hope Gammon C, this is the the understanding lacrosse you're after, man, because this is what we got. So,
having said that, what a way to tee us up. Should we tee us up? This isn't golf. We're talking lacrosse, which we should. So, should we talk some lacrosse, Jen?
Hell yeah, we should. Let's go.
Lacrosse is a contact team player sport played with a lacrosse stick, go figure, and a lacrosse ball. In doing research is I got to figure out what they call this ball just to make sure getting some of the terminology correct. It's just ball.
Just ball.
It's fine.
Which is 8 times harder than a baseball.
Right.
A lacrosse ball is like a brick.
Yeah, I don't want to get beaned with one of those things, man.
As a short-lived lacrosse player, trust.
Wow.
You do. I did. I played lacrosse for probably 2 years when I was seventh grade.
Cool.
Maybe.
It was when I was in high school, it was just starting to become more of a thing in high school sports.
Right.
In like the 2000s, the Midwest, at least in Minnesota. Cool. Yeah. Never played.
I was on attack for a while, which is offense essentially, and then there's defense. Then they moved me to defense because they saw that I was just ready to hit people with a stick. So they were like, "All right, Jim, let's play to your strengths here."
I'm going to be honest. I think they're going against the Binghamton lacrosse team is one of the last things I would want to do on this earth. That just sounds like it would hurt.
Yeah, there's some gnarly dudes that were playing. Now I played when I was like in middle school, so like sure. I certainly was not on the high school team for any respect. Yep. When I played, yes, I was very adamant about hitting people with a stick. So they were like, "Well, let's get you." Yeah, like I said, let's get you to where you can do that, and that would be on defense. All so right. There you go.
Well, let's go on the offense and lay out some more facts. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go. So it is the oldest organized sport in North America. Pretty cool. With its origins with the indigenous people of North America as early as the 12th century. The game was extensively modified by European colonists, reducing the violence to create its current collegiate and professional form. Players use the head of lacrosse stick to carry, pass, catch, and shoot the ball into a goal. The sport has 5 versions with different sticks, fields, rules, and equipment. Field lacrosse, women's lacrosse, box lacrosse, lacrosse sixes, and intercross. The men's games, field lacrosse, which is outdoor, and box lacrosse, which is indoor, are contact sports, and all players wear protective gear. You got your helmets, gloves, shoulder pads, and elbow pads. The women's game is played outdoors and does not allow body contact, but does allow stick-to-stick contact. The only protective gear required for women players is eye gear, while goalies wear helmets and protective pads. Both men and women play lacrosse sixes on a smaller field, and it has the most common version at multi-sport events, or it is the most common version at multi-sport events. Intercross is a mixed-gender, non-contact sport that uses an all-plastic stick and a softer ball. What is a stick usually made out of? Wood?
Metal.
Oh,
it's aluminum.
Oh,
yeah, man.
Oh my!
Like,
yeah.
Listen, sure. I'm telling you, it's rugby with a stick because you are checking people and sending people to the earth. All types of wild shit's popping off on the lacrosse field, if I recall, as I do. So, yeah, the plastic sticks. I remember, like, in high school when we would play lacrosse, we had, like, the plastic sticks, and they were kind of corny, but...
Sure.
Yeah, you want the real deal. You want the real deal, folks.
Yeah. All right, well, let's learn a little bit more about the history. Let's go in depth here. So, lacrosse... Again, America's oldest team sport dates to 1100 when it was played by the Haudenosaunee or Iroquois people in what is now New York and areas in Canada bordering the state. The early versions of lacrosse matches played by Native American nations included 100 to 1,000 men or more. Holy shit.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of people using wooden sticks, sometimes with net baskets or pockets attached, and small deer hide wrapped balls. Deer sinew formed nets and borderless fields could span miles, and games could last days. That sounds awesome. That sounds fun.
Yo, man, that's an. Do you know how like in shape you have to be to like play this game when the field is like 4 miles long?
That's crazy. I mean, I remember playing in high school. Ultimate Frisbee was really big, and we would just go to the biggest park and have the goals be as far apart as possible. And like, they're pretty damn far. Certainly not 4 miles apart, but like playing a team game on a massive field, pretty fun.
Sure.
That's crazy. And yeah, last days. That's it's like that one. was it one minor league baseball game in upstate New York that lasted like 24 innings?
Right. Which, it just you just got to kill somebody at the end. Yeah,
Sure.
that's the best way to end it, man.
I think didn't that game end with gunshots too? I
think that, again, that's how you get out of there.
Yeah.
That's how you get up out of there.
Whatever episode that was from. All right, so Native American oral traditions cite the first lacrosse game played between birds and mammals. Some Native Americans believe the sport was a gift from the creator to be used for enjoyment and as medicine. Ceremonial medicine games are still played in Haudenosaunee communities to heal the sick. The Onondaga play an annual spring game with male participants of all ages. Lacrosse, a spiritual game played for centuries ago for recreation or political reasons, is a thriving sport throughout the world. For the Haudenosaunee, the people of the Iroquois Confederacy, lacrosse still inspires cultural passion and community healing. According to the Haudenosaunee, the game was the creator's gift to his people and is a source of pride for those who play the game today. Long before French settlers attempted to, quote, civilize the version they saw at Mohawk territories, Akwesasne and Kanawake, with penalties, sidelines, and goaltenders, lacrosse games had virtually no limits.
Let's go.
Cool.
It's just, well, and listen, as from what I know of like the Native American culture, etc., is like, yeah, there aren't like boundaries and there isn't like the rigid constraints.
Well, and who wants to be the referee? I want to play the game. I don't want to.
Let's just play, man. Let's just, because it's about just getting out there and being with the people.
Yeah. Rough and boundless games, described as, quote, bumping hips by its players, involved many men from around the Six Nations and might have lasted for days. Although the game was violent by nature, the purpose of the game wasn't to hurt each other. Sometimes the game was played simply to please the creator. Strength and stamina were important, making the game perfect physical conditioning for war. In fact, the game was sometimes called the little brother of war by some, because it was often played to settle disputes between nations or villages.
You don't want to go up against somebody who's been running like for days and days and days and has just been like bumping hips and being fucking nuts.
Sure.
I don't think you want to fight that person. It's just like you don't want to fight someone who rides a skateboard. They fall all the time, man.
That's true.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do that hasn't happened already?
Let's see. One of the reasons people described it as a medicine game was because it helped keep the peace among the Six Nations. The social component was another. After disputes were settled, the people would gather for a feast. Games kept the people and their nations close-knit, thus strengthening the Confederacy. Again, the Confederacy being made up of different tribes, right? So it was played across these different nations effectively. Lacrosse purists delight in the wide open version of today's field game. With its speed and emphasis on passing, it's a sport true to its roots. It is, however, a gentleman's game, adopted by elite private schools and colleges in the Northeast. This fact is made abundantly clear these days at Syracuse University, or as Syracuse University seeks to add to its NCAA national title count.
You've got some elite private schools involved in this particular type of activity here, for sure.
Indeed. For various reasons, in the early 1900s, North American teams and players were eliminated from amateur lacrosse exhibitions, and the game became largely non-native. The traditional wooden stick of the Iroquois, handmade and each one unique, all but disappeared from the playing field with the introduction of the plastic and aluminum stick. I think do we get into why a lot of Native American players were booted in the 1900s?
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have it down, but...
Oh, because I do know why.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember if I read it outside of this or included in this. But so back in like 1900s, if you think of 1900s Olympics, right? I forget at what point this changed, but the Olympics used to be only for amateurs, right? It wasn't for professional athletes. And this was the justification that was used to remove a lot of the Iroquois people from the teams because someone claimed that they were professionals. And like being a professional could be like someone is providing your food or your lodging or picking up expenses for you in some way, right?
Right.
And I think it seems like it was bullshit, right? And all,
I'm here to say that it was.
Yeah. But that was because and we'll get into it, I think, a little bit in one of the articles that I have for us at the end. But yeah, basically you're like, hey, this team is taking care of itself in XYZ ways. Cause again, it's a community activity for them too. So it's, the community is providing, some means for it to occur. And XYZ, that's why, they are, eliminated from amateur lacrosse exhibitions.
So it sounds like it rhymes with schmism.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
All right. And I believe we'll talk more about that bullshit later. So the spread of lacrosse throughout these northeastern institutions laid the foundation for today's hotbed. Generations of talented lacrosse players have sprung from the fertile playing fields of this region to continue the legacy their Iroquois neighbors began. The rosters of local D1 programs like Syracuse, Colgate, Cornell, and Hobart College list dozens of players from throughout central New York, indicating homegrown talent. Cool.
Pretty dope.
Native American players turned to box lacrosse more than half a century ago and made it their game. A new summer pastime was born.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're out there kicking the shit out of everybody. If I had to guess.
Let's see. The combination of fast-paced action and outstanding talent made box lacrosse, like the traditional field game, an important social component of Haudenosaunee culture. Box lacrosse is the indoor variant, right? Right.
Yep.
This region's main box organizations, the Northern Iroquois Lacrosse Association and the Western Can-Am League, allowed players and their families to travel around central New York and the Six Nations, keeping communities and their people close-knit. An important point in the game's modern history occurred when the Iroquois Nationals were welcomed into the International Lacrosse Federation as a nation. Complete with its own flag and passports, the field team, comprised entirely of Haudenosaunee players, began competing in the 1990 World Games alongside countries like Canada, Japan, Australia, and the United States, established to develop positive role models and raise self-esteem for Haudenosaunee youth. The team also represents the sovereignty of the Confederacy. Lacrosse has become the lifeblood of the area, just as it has been for the Haudenosaunee people for centuries. Competition or recreation, the game fosters cultural understanding. The tradition of lacrosse exposes players to different cultures, helping to destroy stereotypes through respect and social interaction. Jim, we just mentioned a professional team.
I did.
Can we
I sure did.
Learn a little bit more about this team and its development?
We can learn about the Haudenosaunee men's national lacrosse team because that is just who we're going to speak on right now.
Hell yeah.
The Haudenosaunee national men's lacrosse team, formerly known as the Iroquois Nationals, represents the Haudenosaunee Confederacy in international field lacrosse competition. They are currently ranked third in the world by the World Lacrosse after winning bronze at the 2018 World Lacrosse Championship. In June of 2022, the Nationals dropped Iroquois from their name, adopting the name the Haudenosaunee Nationals. The Haudenosaunee are currently seeking to compete in the 2028 Olympics under their own flag and have received support from both the Canadian and United States governments.
And it's I think it's the first time lacrosse has been in the Olympics in like almost 100 years.
Yeah.
And it's only ever been like in I forget what they call, like, it's like when they had breaking it's like an it's not officially going to be in, it's like a test.
It's like a trial run or something,
which I think they're doing again for lacrosse.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Lacrosse, as we have spoken on earlier, was originally played as part of the spiritual endeavor meant to praise and give thanks to the Creator, a tradition still followed today by the Haudenosaunee Nationals. For example, before each game, the Haudenosaunee Nationals gather around their spiritual advisor, who leads a traditional tobacco-burning rite, in addition to other rituals in an effort to prepare the players before they take the field. The traditions attached to lacrosse extend to the wooden sticks, central to the Iroquois religion and culture. Specifically, males are given a miniature wooden lacrosse stick at birth, sleep with their stick nearby throughout their life, and even take one to the grave. That is not someone you want to play in lacrosse.
Sure.
You don't want that smoke, man. You really don't. That's like, if you went to sleep, if there was a group of people who went to sleep with baseball bats every day and then died with them, those would not be the folks to play either. Anyway, it is believed that the first thing the Haudenosaunee does after reaching the afterlife is grab the stick placed under his coffin. The importance given to these wooden lacrosse sticks stems from the belief that these are gifts from Mother Earth. The Haudenosaunee believe that because a living organism, i.e. a tree, died to make the stick, its spirit has been transferred to the stick's owner. Therefore, the Haudenosaunee play humbly in an attempt to honor the tree's sacrifice. See, and that's what makes that dope, is having empathy and understanding the world around. Very, very non-European as far as our approach to things. The modern team. The Iroquois Nationals men's lacrosse team was formed and sanctioned by the Grand Council of the Haudenosaunee in 1983 in preparation of friendlies at the NCAA championship in Baltimore, Maryland. The Nationals lost to the Syracuse Orangemen 28-5, Jesus, and the Hobart Statesmen 22-14. Prior to the 84 Summer Olympics, the Nationals held the Jim Thorpe Memorial Games and Powwow, a 6-team event with local and international teams in Los Angeles. The Nationals achieved their first victory over the national team of England. The following year, using their Haudenosaunee passports, the Nationals traveled and toured England, losing only once. That's right. Let's go upstate. The Iroquois Nationals team is the only First Nations team with international recognition as a sovereign people. After being denied membership by the International Lacrosse Federation, the ILF, to compete in the 86 World Lacrosse Championship in Canada, the Iroquois hosted the teams for preliminary games at the University of Buffalo. If you don't let us in, we'll make our own party. How about that? The IFL accepted the Iroquois as a full member nation in 1988. The Iroquois Nationals took part in their first international competition at the 1990 World Lacrosse Championship in Australia, finishing 5th out of 5 teams. They warmed up for the World Championships by competing in the Lacrosse USA tournament in Syracuse against top men's team clubs. In 2002, the Iroquois Nationals were recognized with the Honoring Nations Award for demonstrating nation building through traditional sports. The Honoring Nations Award program is administered by the Harvard Project on American Indian Economic Development. That is the men's side of lacrosse. We're going to talk now a little bit about the women's contribution here. Although holding cultural importance among Iroquois communities, lacrosse has been described primarily as a men's game. After the recognition of the male lacrosse team in the 1980s, a group of female Haudenosaunee lacrosse players attempted to create a women's national team. However, the Haudenosaunee leaders refused to sanction a women's team, citing traditional and cultural restrictions. Despite this, lacrosse remained vital to the national identity of the Haudenosaunee women. Ultimately, the Haudenosaunee women were able to form a national team, becoming members of the IFL in 2008. So good for them and good for that. Now, Rob, we've established their footing, right? Their what do you want to say? Their legacy, if you will. Tell us where we go from here.
Look, I think I think it's fair to say that many aspiring athletes on their vision board, they got Nike deal, baby. And that's where we're headed.
There you go.
Let's learn about it. So historically, the Iroquois Nationals operated a very small budget while simultaneously trying not to accept any financial resources from the Canadian and American governments in an attempt to assert their sovereignty through financial independence, which we will read about in an article that I have, actually. Zero overhead, basically, is kind of how they tried to operate.
Right.
In 2006, the Iroquois Nationals lacrosse program signed a partnership with Nike, which Nike will provide the Nationals with their brand uniforms, clothing, footwear, and other equipment. The company is to develop programs to, quote, promote wellness and fitness activities in Native American communities throughout the region. And team members may go to speak to local groups. Team members will also assist in testing of sustainable produced sportswear for Nike's research and development of processes to use non-toxic dyes and biodegradable organic cotton. I think mostly all pretty positive stuff, right?
See, it is, but the pure cynic in me is like any corporation that does something like this has their agenda and essentially what is in it for us.
Yeah, I was going to say, those are positive outcomes for the team, but then how is Nike using the affiliation to promote themselves, right?
Correct.
Nike is the only Fortune 500 company to have such a relationship with a First Nations organization, and the Iroquois Nationals are the only such group. This partnership extends beyond simply providing equipment and apparel and includes programs to promote wellness and fitness among Native American communities. This focus on the promotion of physical activity among Native Americans is part of Nike's Native American Business Program. They have worked with the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the Indian Health Service to establish and manage physical activity programs among Native American communities. These programs are particularly important given the disproportionately high rates of obesity and diabetes among indigenous communities. Yeah, I'd be curious to see how that program is recepted.
Right.
Received. Received. In the community. All right, let's learn about some passport issues, because this is actually has some pretty big implications for the team over the years. So the Iroquois Confederacy began issuing their own passports in 1927, and its holders were able to travel without problems for many years. Again, this is out of declaring sovereignty, right, from the United States. Having their own passports was a big part of, maintaining their own identity. However, with stricter security measures following the 9/11 terrorist attacks, the European Union member states no longer recognize these passports as legal travel documents. While holders of these passports were still able to enter Canada, neither the U.S. nor Canada recognize the passports as valid travel documents. These passports became an issue when the Iroquois Nationals attempted to enter England for the 2010 World Lacrosse Championship held in Manchester. The Nationals were unable to attend and compete in the 2010 World Lacrosse Championship in England, as the United Kingdom did not accept their Iroquois passports. And even so, we'll read in the article, one of the articles I have, it's a requirement to try out for the team to have your own passport, your own Iroquois Nation passport.
Interesting.
Again, they want to make sure you're a part of the community, right? And that was one of the requirements. So it's it was so important for them that their team members, that's the passport they had to use to travel.
Right.
The Nationals players were told by British officials to attain either U.S. or Canadian passports if they wished to enter the country, as the team's 23 players were eligible to be issued passports from these countries. The Iroquois Nationals refused to travel with Canadian or American passports, arguing that this would be a strike against their identity. As a result, the Nationals were forced to forfeit their 3 preliminary games. In 2018, the Iroquois Nationals' travel arrangements to Israel for the World Lacrosse Championship were delayed due to passport issues once again. However, after the intervention of the Federation of International Lacrosse and the local organizing committee, the Israeli and Canadian governments were able to resolve the issue and lift the travel restrictions. As a result, the Iroquois Nationals arrived just before the opening ceremonies and their first game.
Well, I'm glad that at least there's some recognition of their ascribed identity here.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
All right, so let's we talked about this a little bit before, but let's talk 2028 Summer Olympics, shall we, Jim? And this is the LA Olympics, right?
Yep.
All right, so in October 2023, the International Olympic Committee, the IOC, officially added lacrosse to the 2028 Summer Olympics being held in Los Angeles, California. Whether the Haudenosaunee Nationals, a team not representing a member nation in the IOC, would be allowed to compete as a team in the Olympics remains a point of contention. The team has received support from both U.S. President Joe Biden and Canadian Sport Minister Carla Qualtrough, but the IOC has stated that only countries with a National Olympic Committee would be allowed to compete, and that it would be up to the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee and the Canadian Olympic Committee to allow Haudenosaunee players to play in their respective teams. On January 17th, 2025, President Joe Biden and Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau released a joint statement from the White House calling on the International Olympic Committee to allow the Haudenosaunee to compete in lacrosse at the 2028 LA Olympic Games as their own team under their own flag. They stated, while we respect the IOC's independence, we encourage the IOC to take advantage of this historic opportunity, permitting the Haudenosaunee to compete in lacrosse, the sport they invented, would advance the highest value of the Olympic Games and send a powerful message about respecting and valuing Indigenous cultural heritage. Haudenosaunee players are eligible to play for either Canada or the United States, depending on residence. However, most Haudenosaunee players maintain that they would only play for an Indigenous team.
There you go.
Yeah. Tom Perez, keeping in with, all these roadblocks they've, faced, it's like, well, fuck that. We're not doing it then. This is how we want to do it, right? Tom Perez, senior advisor to President Biden, stated that they are, quote, hopeful the IOC will see it our way. President Biden stated, quote, their ancestors invented the game. They perfected it for a millennium. Their circumstances are unique, and they should be granted an exception to field their own team at the Olympics. Perez also stated that the U.S. is working with Canada to support inclusion in the 2028 Olympics. I hope in, 4 years, we have an update. I hope the podcast is still going.
It will.
Like episode 1,000. Maybe not that. There's only 50 episodes a year, but
right.
I look forward to hopefully giving a positive update on the topic.
Yeah, I would like to update the Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's as to what's going on there.
Yeah,
for sure.
I guess in 150 episodes we'll have an idea. Forgot what year it was, Jim, for a second. I have a newborn. I'm sleep deprived.
Sure. Time is just dancing.
It's true. So I've mentioned it a few times, but I do have a couple articles here for us. And yeah, I just plugged in the Iroquois Nationals into the New York State Historic Newspaper archive, which I love to dig through, as we all know, for better or for worse. And I pulled up actually a really cool couple articles. This comes from Indian Time, which was a periodical in upstate New York. I'm not sure if it still is, but this is from January 7th, 1994. And this comes from the Iroquois Nationals newsletter, and this is before the name change to Haudenosaunee. I forget, Haudenosaunee Nationals, is that the team now?
Yes, the Haudenosaunee Nationals.
Yeah, so this is prior to the name change, but again, same team. And the two articles that jumped out to me, one is just a history of Iroquois lacrosse, and then another article just kind of giving a profile of the team. So let's jump into this first one here, Iroquois lacrosse history. And talking, we'll quickly see, it's talking about like the organized team, the history of this specific team, basically, not going back to 1100 again. So more recent history.
Right.
Here we go. In the 1890s, the Iroquois were banned from competing in international lacrosse due to accusations of professionalism that stemmed from promotional tours to the United Kingdom, during which the Indian players received compensation. The team played a command match for Queen Victoria, the British monarch, who presented a silver tea service cast in the team's honor to them upon their winning the match. The modern-day tradition of presenting silver cups to champions stems from this period of history. I didn't know that. It's kind of cool.
I don't either.
With this, decades of Iroquois dominance in North America and World Championship lacrosse came to an end. Again, like, they got to go do this exhibition match. They had, Queen Victoria rolled out the red carpet, and all these other jealous white dudes were throwing fits. Let's see. Since that time, lacrosse has become a world-class sport and is played in several forms in countries such as Japan, France, Scotland, Czechoslovakia, England, and the United States. However, the Six Nations never lost sight of their goal to be restored to their place in international lacrosse. Since their founding in 1983, the team has steadily developed into a team capable of competing in lacrosse at the world-class level. In 1988, the team came full circle. The Iroquois Nationals were accepted as a member nation, and the International Lacrosse Federation, as we talked about. The team competed in the 1990 World Games in Perth, Australia. This historic event marked the first time in nearly a century that the Iroquois originators of the sport were able to compete for the worldwide title as representatives of their own nation. As a member nation, the team traveled on their own Haudenosaunee passports. The team will participate in the 1994 World Games at Manchester, England. The junior teams participated in the 92 Junior World Championship tournament held at Hofstra, New York, and not Upstate, I might add.
Nope. Long Island.
Yep. Since their founding, they have come to earn the respect of competing teams. Together with the Japanese national team, the Iroquois Nationals junior team will co-host the 1996 Junior World Championships in Tokyo, Japan. So some cool, a brief history.
Yeah.
But, again, it's really interesting, and we're coming up on 40-ish minutes here, and all the important things we touched on, this article has kind of reverberated those ideas, right? Let's see. So the next article, again, pretty quick, is the Iroquois Nationals organizational profile. So let's learn about the organization kind of as it was in 94. The Iroquois Nationals lacrosse team, formed in 1988, is the only national Indian lacrosse team in a sport that is wholly Native American in its origin and content. This modern team was formed by the Six Nations Iroquois Confederacy to assist Iroquois youth through athletics to develop a positive self-image based on the Iroquois tradition of lacrosse, to establish competitive field lacrosse teams for international competition, and to encourage international understanding through the promotion of the sport of lacrosse. The team logo is that of a traditional eagle dancer, a symbol of great power and strength. Lacrosse remains an integral part of the social, cultural, and spiritual life of the 50,000 plus Iroquois people who reside in 18 communities in the states of New York, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma, and in Ontario and Quebec provinces of Canada. There is no paid staff and therefore limited administrative overhead, kind of again what we were talking about. The team functions with a working board of 8 people and volunteer support of the communities of the nation. The team has a significant impact on the youth of the nation, where it has provided an international showcase for their talent, culture, and spirit. These Indian youth, acting as ambassadors of goodwill for their nation, have generated international respect and admiration for the Iroquois people as originators of the sport of lacrosse. It is with great pride that the Iroquois people continue the tradition of excellence in lacrosse. There you go.
Very dope.
Yeah. And there's just I got a couple more little anecdotes here. We've got the eligibility requirements for the Iroquois Nationals lacrosse team, member of an Iroquois nation, that's Seneca, Cayuga, Onondaga, Tuscarora, Oneida, and Mohawk, with permission from nation to carry a passport. again, like I mentioned before, member of Indian/indigenous nation with proof of lineage and permission from recognized nation to participate. So those are the two requirements. Also, you have to be good at lacrosse, right?
That's important.
And I believe they announced tryouts in this article, like open tryouts. I believe, which is again cool. You don't get open tryouts very often for professional sports.
Nope.
Let's see. One more article, Jim. One little guy here. Iroquois National Newsletter. Iroquois Nationals move team tryout/practice indoors for the World Cup Team 94. The Iroquois Nationals head coach Frank Davis has announced the tryout schedule for the World Cup team traveling to England. It is an open tryout for all eligible candidates, and mandatory attendance is required for consideration on the Iroquois national team. Which, again, very cool and kind of keeping in with everything read about in the last article about just trying to promote the sport and everything it embodies within the community, right? So I think having open tryouts that's like super aspirational. I like that. We are still looking for and welcome new talent from our nations as we conduct official tryouts for the Iroquois national lacrosse team playing in England in 1994. Players can use their box lacrosse equipment and sticks under international rules. Players are invited to the practice tryouts, which were all held. Let's see. We've got Hobart College in Geneva, and then University of Santa Barbara.
The other side of the country.
Yeah, dude. And then there's like some tentative tournaments, Central New York Lacrosse League. Then they're going to be in Vail in Colorado, and then finally in Manchester, England for the big tournament there. But yeah, that I found a lot of cool information on just like this one-page newsletter within this newspaper, which very cool. Just kind of highlighted some extra things for us today.
Yes.
I mean, great topic, Gammon C. I like the direction we took it. I hope you appreciate the direction we took it. And guys, keep the suggestions coming. If you want to suggest a future topic for another episode, you just got to subscribe, rate, and review. 5 stars, write us a positive review, and then throw in your suggestion for a topic there. You know what? We'll figure out a way to make it Upstate focused, you know? We'll meet you there. We'll meet you when you get there. Yeah, for sure. Jim, what are some things you would like our Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's to meet you on? You got anything to suggest?
Well, let's say you've been playing lacrosse for 5 days, right? You've been running the field, checking people, getting checked. It's been a ride. It's been a crazy ride. You're exhausted, but you feel good, and you're like, how can I go to the next level? This is how you go to the next level. My album, Upstate Understandings. Go pick up a copy of it. Jimsearch.bandcamp.com is a place to get it. There's some CDs. There's some tapes left. There's still a couple t-shirts. If you want them, they can be yours. It's worth every penny you're going to spend on it, my friends. Jimsearchcomedy.com is a place to go check me for some show dates and things like that. And of course, make sure you hit up our show here, understandingupstate@gmail.com. Please email us. And, as we've said numerous times, but we'll say it again, drop a review, drop a rating, and, also in those emails, let us know what you want us to talk about. And we appreciate every last Speedy Freak and Rattlesnake Pete who's been supporting us. Rob.
Jim.
They bought the album and they were like, this is incredible. And I want more quality work. Where can you direct them to get it?
Jim, let's just say you just got the absolute shit kicked out of you by the Binghamton lacrosse team. And, you got some scrapes and bruises, and a bruised ego as well. What are you going to do?
Sure.
You're going to throw on my album, New York Sticky. It's going to soothe your soul. You're going to, it'll help you get back on the field again tomorrow, back on the horse, as it were. And it's a great instrumental album. Check it out. Available, again, brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. I got a spooky themed EP up there too, which if you've listened to this podcast, I've talked enough about, but all those things are available there. We also have a documentary. It's a breezy 30 minutes. It's a behind the scenes look at the making of Jim's album that he just talked about. Link in the description for all these things. Go check those out. And supporting those projects are a great way to support you and I, support us, and the work we're doing here on Understanding Upstate. So go check out those things. If you like what you're hearing here, chances are you're going to like what you hear over there. Speaking about hearing things, Jim, we got to hear a clue for our topic for next week's episode.
Ben, you better paddle up. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
You better paddle up for it.
I like it. Well, I've got a thoroughly researched closing transition. This may have been what I spent most of my time on crafting, because I do not know lacrosse terminology, but I had to do it to close us out here with an up pun. Are you ready, Jim?
I think so. I hope so.
Jim, I've got the ball. Our midi was just slashed by the other team. They've got a player in the penalty box now, and this, of course, means we're going to run a 3-3 man-up defense. So I got to get out of here.
Wow. That is thoroughly researched. You are not lying, man. MIDI? You had me at MIDI.
There we go. I'm not talking about the digital language between keyboards, right? That's a different podcast.
Not. Different show. You know where you're at. Bye. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.